Welcome to Her Confidence Her Way podcast. I am emikorasmussen, an empowerment leader and a business life mentor. I am obsessed with helping you to break through your limiting beliefs and show you what is possible to be, do, have anything that your soul desires. If you are ready to build a mindful, sustainable, and impactful business while honoring your feeling, this is the podcast for you. Just a quick reminder, we don't make everything beautiful here. We are keeping it real. There's no magic, no easy shortcut, and of course, no overnight success. But that is okay. We don't have to do this all alone. Are you ready to become limitless? Let's go. Hello, beautiful souls, and thank you so much for listening to Her Confidence Her Way podcast. 今日もこのエピソード聞いてくれてどうもありがとうございます。今日もしかしてこのエピソードのこの、introduction のところなんですけども、なんか音が違うなって思った方いたら申し訳ないです。なぜか私ガレージバンドっていうものでレコードしてるんですけども、ガレージバンドがコンピューター開かないんですね。で、どうしようと思ったんですけども、まあ、人生ね、いろんな壁が出てくるんですけども、こういう時は落ち着いて、できるものでやればいいということで、私は今ね、これ、ボイスレコーディングというAppleの電話にもついているもので今レコードをしているんですね。なのでちょっと、音が悪かったら申し訳ないです。でも、アンケートのインタビューの方は、普通にマイクをね、通して、録音していますので、音の方は大丈夫だと思います。で、今日の、ゲストの方なんですけれども、アキナさんという方で、彼女はもう本当にデジタルノマドとして、もういろんな国に旅をしながら仕事をされている方なんですね。で、彼女に実際に、エピソードの方はね、英語だったり、ほとんど英語かな、日本語も混ざってるとこもあると思うんですけども、エピソードの中では実際に本当に楽しそうに見えるけれども、どんなところが辛いかだったり、どんなところが危なかったかとか、本当にね、いろんな結構リアルにお話をしてもらいました。なので、もしね、皆さんの中でノマドライフに興味のある方、まさにこのエピソード多分ね、すごく役に立つと思います。で、彼女は、本もね、出版されていますし、で、また彼女も、ご自身のポッドキャストも配信されています。なので、ぜひぜひ、興味のある方はね、後でアキナさんのインスタグラムをフォローしていただければというふうに思います。Okay, without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Akina. Okay, Akina-san, welcome to Her Confidence Her Way podcast. How are you?
Good.I'm in Argentina.
Yeah.
And the weather is 25 Celsius all the time.
Oh.
And the food is very cheap. People very international. So I'm really having a good time here in Argentina right now.
Wow. You mentioned that there are diverse. I didn't even think that for whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is. I think in 1960s, lots of immigrants came from Italy and Spain, and then they stayed here. So actually, even Argentina is located in South America. Mm-hmm. You get to see a lot of European appearance people here.
Oh wow! Well, I can't wait to go all the way to ask all the questions. Okay, so
it's very far away. Yeah.
I have a quick question. So your name is Akina, right? Akina. 日本語ではAkinaさんってね、言いやすいけども、because you're traveling everywhere, do you have a nickname that you go by?
No, I just go with my real name, Akina. And Akina sounds like pretty easier for foreigners to pronounce it. So yeah, I usually go with my real name.Oh,
got it. Well, that's good because when I say Emiko, people normally don't get. So they're calling me like Coco. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Emmy, so I go by Emmy a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's talk. I want to know, well, first of all, welcome. And if you don't mind introducing us who you are and maybe talk about like all the countries that you have been visited so far. And then the reason why I'm asking is because of your lifestyle is 日本語ではノマド、英語では is it nomad, right? Nomad.
Yeah, digital nomad.
Yeah. So tell us all about you.
So I'm Akina. Actually, both of my parents are Chinese, but I was born and raised in Japan. So my nationality is Japanese, but my ethnicity is Chinese. So ever since I was little, I've always looking for somewhere that I feel I can belong to. So I think that's one of the biggest reason to make me travel a lot so that I feel I can find myself in abroad and I feel more comfortable to be in abroad. So when I was studying abroad in Hawaii, when I was a university student as an exchange student, I felt there are so many diversities and I felt, this is a place that I feel I belong to. So ever since then, even I started working at company in Japan, I keep traveling, and in total for now, probably around 36 countries and then 200 cities in total that I've visited. So that's pretty much me.
Whoa. 36 countries.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how that's even possible. Well, so what are your top, do you remember all, I'm assuming all the countries, but like what are your like top maybe 5 countries that you visited so far that you fell in love with?
Yeah, so actually a lot of people would ask the same question, right? Because I keep traveling around the world. Yeah. So every time I always have the same answer to people who ask this question is that it's exactly the same as a guy, like human man. Like there's no perfect man. So there's no perfect country to me. So it depends on what you really like or what you enjoy. But for me, for people wise, I really like Arabic and Latin America because they're so friendly. You feel so close to them. And they would be super happy to listen to my super limited broken Arabic or Spanish. So I really like that atmosphere. But for the weather-wise, I definitely like the Mediterranean area. So the southern part of Europe and Turkey, those are very nice weather. And also Australia is also nice weather, but those countries are quite pricey, I would say. And for the food, after traveling around the world, I realized Japanese food is still the best. So it depends on what kind of things you want to, and depends on how much you can spend on. It will really be different.
Wow. Okay. Well, Japanese food. Yeah. Of course, right? I haven't eaten like authentic Japanese food for a long time just because living in the state, I'm pretty sure you've noticed, like, even if you go to a Japanese restaurant for different countries, it's like their own flavor to it, or they make it cater towards those kind of, people. So like, it's definitely not the authentic, so like I haven't had it for the longest time. So I definitely miss that.
Yeah.
What about so you said that you are nationality wise, you said you're Japanese, but your cultural background, or what's the word that you used?
Ethnicity,
is Chinese, you mentioned. So have you also visited China, and like you kind of like went through all like your family?
I think when I was little, I go to China probably every other year so that I can see my grandparents there. But ever since they passed away, I didn't have any reasons to see them. Go back to China. So not really. I haven't visited there probably more than a decade.
Oh my gosh, that's a long time.
Yeah,
I bet it's so different now. I went there, let's see. Oh gosh, I don't remember when I was in 20, so maybe like almost 20 years ago. So I get that picture. It's so different now. Okay, and then I think the reason why I found you was because, like, we had a conversation a long time ago, and you mentioned about the book.
Oh, yeah, the picture book.
Yes. How did that go? It's already out, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's already out, and then it's actually exactly been almost a year since I have published
Oh,
it.
right. That's
And
right.
then after I published it, I got Amazon rank one in 5 fields. And yeah, after that, I was like, I'm already satisfied, so that I'll just leave it. And then I kept moving on to the different things now.
Whoa, well, congratulations. That's a big
Thank you.
accomplishment. And then now look at you. So you are having this normal life. So let's talk
Yes.
about your life. Well, okay, so before I move on to the next topic, but so this book is still available for purchase
Oh, yes, it's
through.
still available.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's if you are the Amazon Prime member, it's for
Mhm.
free to read it on Kindle.
Okay.
And if not, it's probably about like $5.
Mhm.
And I also published the paper version, so
Uh-huh.
you can also have that too.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, that's cool. And then so this one was about so you traveled the world with your father?
Dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the picture book is about the true story that I traveled around the world with my dad after my mom passed away, so that we both could see the world and try to be alive again in our life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really good. I mean, I think that was a good decision that I made.
Yeah. So this experience triggered you to have this lifestyle, or you already was always traveling?
Mm. So I think like because of my unique background, I've always looked for somewhere that I always feel I can belong to. So I think that's the probably biggest reason that I started this lifestyle. But even after that, I was kind of like scared of stepping out from my comfort zone, stable life with stable income at a good company after graduating at a good university. But then I just realized because so my mom passed away after going through the cancer's treatment, and I realized that life is too short to regret, and probably this is my time for me to step out from my comfort zone. And my dad has been kind of disappointed, so I just invited him, and we both traveled around the world together. And ever since then, I can't go back to my office work anymore, so I'm doing this all the time now.
Wow. Wow. And I'm pretty sure your mom is so proud of you doing this because I think,
Mm,
she really wanted you to live the way how you want to live. And maybe,
mm,
the message that she wanted you to get is exactly that
mm.
and traveling and
Yeah.
oh wow. Okay. So you're not with your dad right now though, are you?
No, he
Okay.
is in Japan now,
Okay.
and but sometimes like I try to invite him to travel with me.
Oh, yeah.
So we did 2 months Okinawa workation
Oh,
together
okay.
when I was traveling around Japan, and he enjoyed it. And yeah, so I'm trying to, but at the same time, bringing my dad to abroad
Yeah.
sounds a little bit tough.
Yeah.
So I go by
Oh,
myself.
okay. I see. I got it. So then let's talk about your lifestyle, right? So obviously making a decision, you kind of mentioned that, your dad was not happy with the decision and,
Mm,
leaving the good company because you graduated from the good university, right? So
mm,
you talked about your mother's story, and I'm so sorry to hear that you have lost your mom. How you feeling? You're okay with talking?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
Okay.
almost 5 years.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure. So what was the decision that you made? And obviously, there are going to be a lot of people who would be the all supportive, but I'm pretty sure at the same time there are some people who would try to kill your dream and all that. So tell us all about that, like the decision making and how you
Yeah.
went through all that maybe emotional decision making, who knows.
Yeah. So I was telling to my employees, friends, about my decision that I'm going to quit my work and then we'll go on a world trip as an interpreter because it was a free ride. And then I decided to quit my work. Then a lot of people actually told me that's such a waste. Like you started your good career and then you have built this nice profile on your CV, then you're gonna just like throw it away. That's a lot of waste. But one thing I realized, because like I was an employee, so I was talking to most of the employees' friends. That's why they gave this message to me. I should have asked someone who has already done what I really wanted to do. Was probably the right way to ask the opinion, because most of my employees' friends at that time have never experienced traveling around the world while working, so they wouldn't be able to imagine what the lifestyle would be, and then they thought it would be a high risk. I mean, they were thoughtful, so they considered about me, but at the same time, I kind of recognized that I should have asked the person who has already done it so that I could get more useful comments back then.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow. I did though, like all those people, not everybody, but all those people who, told you like, oh, what a waste and blah, blah, blah. Don't you think that they might be jealous that you are like deciding to go into that path and like saying like, oh, that's a wasting is like pretty much that's the word that they're telling themselves, not towards you. What do you think?
I think partially correct, because they've never done it. Probably they are not brave enough to take the first step to step out from the comfort zone. So maybe partially they are kind of jealous of what I am doing. But at the same time, if they tell me that it's such a waste, but I would like to prove that my decision was right by showing what I'm doing right now. And it takes a while, but then, gradually after a year or 2 years, people who used to tell me such a waste started texting me that, like, I really want to have your lifestyle and how did you make it? And so I think people will gradually know after you show that or you prove that you're having more fun time than sticking with the previous company and then complaining about your salary or boss or time. So you can prove it.
Oh, I love it. And then I don't know how to ask this question, but so when you're making this, maybe if you don't have this answer, that's okay too. Like, what was your like intention for living less? Because like it's easy to say like, oh, like a nomad no life styleしたい or whatever, right? It's easy to say, but that's just a thing. But there are more to it underneath this lifestyle. So I don't know where I'm going for this question, but like, what was your intention? Like, what were you hoping for? Or maybe you're still searching, or it's gonna evolve. Who knows? But like, what was it? Like, it's not about just going to different countries, but I assume that it's more than just going to travel.
So the lifestyle of digital nomad seems really ideal. Like traveling, a lot of people's dream is traveling around the world, right? But after actually going through this lifestyle, I recognize there are also pros and cons. And people tend to look at the pros side. Of course, it's good because it motivates them to start this lifestyle. But after experiencing this lifestyle for the past 2 years, and I kind of recognize that going through this journey, I could create myself, and then I can update like latest version of me by having a new perspective of different people coming from different world around the world. And you can also get to see Japan objectively. Plus, you can also see yourself objectively too. And that makes you very unique and then very differentiate from others. So I guess like I always wanted to be like unique rather than being same. So that's also another biggest reason that I keep doing this lifestyle.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Such a beautiful thing. Yeah, and then you're right. There's like lots of pros but there are some cons too. And I think my listeners are gonna be really upset if I don't ask you this question. So I'm gonna ask you this. But those people who are wanting to having this lifestyle, but I think one of the top reasons that they're gonna be worried is about the money, I would assume.
Exactly.
You know, it's like you're leaving the job, you are leaving the career that you have been building, right? So then people might be wondering, wait, so how do you make money? Or like, do you save up money? Like, how much is enough? Like, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I think that depends on the category of digital nomads. So there are several types. The first type is employees nomads. So who usually work for the company, but they can still get to travel around the world, but they have to definitely deal with the time differences. And they definitely need to work a lot too. So, for example, I have this like Italian girl living in Argentina for now, but working for the Dutch company. So she has to wake up at 5:30 a.m. and then finish her work around 4:30 p.m. But she gets paid by Dutch company. And then the cost of living in Argentina is much cheaper than the one in Dutch or Europe. So actually she can save lots more money while she's traveling. So that's, I would say, a lot of like digital nomads, like employee types is increasing because of the COVID-19. So the second type is about freelancing or entrepreneur nomad. So that after they left the job, most of them usually get job from the previous company. And from there, they started their own career, and by using social media or, you know, through the friends, they try to get the new clients. And from there, they make money out of it online. And the third type would be investors, I would say. So investors nomad, I think they're mostly time independent as well, not only location independent. So they make money out of daily trade or stock, bond, or crypto, NFT, or real estate. So that they're more of location and time independent at the same time. So mainly like I see these three types.
And then I'm assuming you are in category 2, right? The type.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I've also trying to myself to put into category 3 as well, because I recognize dealing with time difference is quite difficult. And then lots of us actually depends on the time difference. They can't actually go to Asia if they work for the United States or Europe because of that time differences. And I don't want to limit myself with that. So I'm kind of like shifting, like having both 2 and 3.
I see. Whoa. I mean, well, I'm type 2 and my husband is a type 3 for that category, right? So we can only do that. Minus, we got 2 kids, 2 dogs, and traveling isn't really our thing right now. But, you know, like I was thinking like, oh, yes, someday. But someday is like, it's almost like a wish and a hope. So, you know, it's like at a certain point, I'm going to have to make the move if I truly want to do it. But it's funny because I always have this like akogare, right? Like, oh, I wish I could do this. But like when I ask myself, like, wait, do I really want to do it? And my answer, I realized recently, was no. Like, actually, I want to feel not necessarily comfortable, but for my family. So I feel like, you know, everybody has their life stage, right? The seasons. If I were like a lot younger, then have kids, and if I were already having business, and I'll be traveling around like no problem.
I believe like everybody has their own timing and life stage, so that the lifestyle of digital nomad sounds like really ideal, but it doesn't mean that it will apply to everyone.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think you see that because you also have this podcast, right? Nomad University
Yeah.
podcast. So you
Yeah.
are interviewing people who are having a very similar lifestyle as you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Is there any families that you have interviewed so far?
Is there, sorry?
Family, like
Family?
someone with a kid.
Okay. So I haven't been able to interview a family nomad, but
Yeah.
that's a very good point. I'm gonna start looking for that because I
Yeah,
know
I'm
some.
just so curious.
Yeah. Because I know some Japanese family who are traveling around the world for the past 15 years, and then their kids are influencer on the TikTok, so that every time they pass the border, the kids are so popular, and then they get to pass this border so easily because the kids are influencer. They know them already.
Oh, really?
And,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's great. Who are those people? I'm curious to look up.
In Japanese, you can search them on Twitter, QRPG, family or game. I forgot, but
RPG. Okay, I'm pretty sure they're popular enough. It was pop up GQ. Oh my
yeah.
God, I'm so curious. Yeah.
There's another Japanese family who's been traveling around the South America with their van. So 2 kids, maybe like 5 years and 8 years, boys. Yeah, I mean, it is possible, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I think it's also quite challenging at the same time. I also tried the van life just for a week in Japan. And I felt like it's too much for me. I prefer to live in the house.
Like a little bit more, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, but like if you never try, you would never know it. So maybe you can rent a van for 3 days and then try it out with your family. If you like it, you can make it longer.
I personally can't handle it. I can't handle kids in the car for 3 days. I would die. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, let me know if you find someone and then you happen to interview. But so what motivated you to start this podcast?
Yeah, so I used to be an interpreter on this world ship cruise called Peace Boat, and then lots of customers told me that I have a good voice. So I was like, oh, nice. I've never realized that. So maybe I can use my voice to do something. So that's what I've always wanted to do it. And another reason is that I met this word of digital nomad in 2020 when I visited Bali. And then there, even though it's located in Asia, I didn't see any Asian nomads. Like 99% are Western nomads. So I felt like, it's interesting. I mean, I wish I could spread this lifestyle of digital nomad, especially among Asia. So I started this podcast. I mean, combining with these 2 reasons, I started this podcast since 2021 August.
Okay.
And at first, I was not really comfortable to interview in English. I even really thought about maybe I can do it in Japanese, like when I make it global and introducing global nomads to Japanese or Asian, it has to be English. So I started that podcast in English.
Yeah. Well, I think that gives more opportunities for other people, not just for Japanese.
Yeah.
So how do you meet people or find these people to interview?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, like so those people are usually mostly who I met through my nomad life. So I met them and then I felt, they have very unique story. I would like to share their stories to my friends or whoever listens to my podcast so that I can spread this lifestyle. And I believe like my vision is diversity through stories. So diversity is always my key point that I really want to, especially for maybe Japanese or Asian to have these diversities so that they have more open-minded people.
Yeah.
And also they can have this lifestyle. So it won't be just for the Western cultures people.
Right. And do you hear any like common themes or things that people like say, like, oh, here you go again? Like maybe it's not necessarily the same words, but it's like a similar concept or mindset or something.
Yeah, so definitely I've been asking the same question about what kind of skills do you need to be a digital nomad, and then okay, let's say maybe more than 90% would usually answer flexibility. So if you don't have any flexibility, then you wouldn't be able to go with this lifestyle because it requires you a lot of challenges.
Right.
And also dating part, that's also hard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like we talked.
Yes. Yeah. So as a nomad, because you constantly move, so that it's quite hard to find a stable partner, or some people probably even have the problem of the commitment.
Yeah.
And some nomads might just run away from the country if they had issue with the local girls or guys. Right. So maybe we have that in common. So finding a love partner as a nomad is a little bit tricky.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Oh my goodness. So then, like, how do you? So let's say, like, can you tell, like, if the person is having a nomad style, like digital style or not? Like, let's say if you go to a cafe or something, like, can you like spot those people?
Yeah, not really. So also the definition of digital nomad is also quite different, depends on the person. And then actually a lot of them don't want to be called digital nomads. It's interesting fact, because a lot of people who are aspiring to be digital nomads, they just go to the place where the cost of living is cheap, so that they keep hanging out with friends or just do whatever they want instead of working. But the authentic digital nomads people, they don't want to be called digital nomads, so that the people wouldn't misunderstand them, that they've always playing around. Yeah. So if you want to really meet the real digital nomads, I would say maybe you can go to co-working space instead of maybe like cafe is also fine, but cafe it's really hard to tell whether they're just having the temporarily work there or local people. But if you go to co-working place or co-living place, they tend to have I would say like authentic digital nomads.
Interesting. But that's interesting how like they don't want to be associated with because is it a stigma that those digital nomad people tend to like not play around, but like it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting because let's say maybe because some digital nomad, I mean, there are of course like good people, bad people in general in the world. So there are also good nomads and bad nomads. So if the the person who's called digital nomad go to Bali, and then what if like she's done such a bad thing, then the digital nomad whole society would have this bad reputation, so that the so yeah, it happens a lot actually. So and then local people wouldn't want to accept more digital nomads because of that incident. So it happens.
Oh, interesting. Well, so you have been traveling 36 countries. So what is your next vision? Like where are you going to be heading next? And like what's the next version of you?
Yeah, so my goal is that I'm always looking for 25 Celsius, so that yeah, that's my like very comfortable temperature, and then I don't have to carry a lot of clothes thanks to that temperature. So that's my final goal.
Yeah.
That's my like final goal, and hopefully I can find travel buddy with, so that I can be more feeling less lonely, and organizing everything by myself, like planning, booking, thinking about like where to go next is sometimes very stressful and hassle. So hopefully I can find a travel buddy to go with. Then, yeah, that's actually, oh, and then also I will keep doing this podcast so that I can make sure. I've also launched a website called nomaduniversity.world. So I will try to translate this English content into Japanese. So, and then make an article so that more Japanese can have an access to the content with their own language. That's my another goal.
Exciting. Wow, I'm so excited for you. And thank you so much for sharing all of your stories. And I'm pretty sure it's just the surface that I scratched. So where would be the good place for people to learn more about you? Would that be a podcast or Instagram, the website? Where do you want to send people?
So maybe starting from my personal Instagram. From there, you can have an access to my podcast and website. So, yeah.
Okay, so your Instagram account is B Akina Self. Oh, I like that. BEAKINASELF. So yeah, I'll make sure to add your link to my show note. Okay, so I am so ready to ask you some Her Confidence, Her Way power questions. Are you ready? Okay, so first question, what is your passion or purpose in your life, or life mission, whatever you want to call it?
Okay, so I used to have a very big passion that I would, like, as I have been mentioning, that I really want to spread this lifestyle of digital nomad among Asia. But this year, I have actually a smaller goal, is that I want to have this 5 meters happiness. So I want to find my partner and then maybe have my own kids and then travel together. And then by doing so, I can, do this project at the same time, because I realized that doing everything by yourself is just like, lonely, and then sometimes get distracted. So I would like to have this 5 meters happiness for this year.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Like I can only I can picture you like having kids, and you're like spreading this life, and like, hey, you can still raise your kids and you can totally do it. Yeah. Oh, that would be so fun. Okay, so the next question, I'm pretty sure you have been learning a lot of lessons from this thing called mistakes, right? And people tend to think oh, mistakes is a bad thing, failure is a bad thing, but really without that we won't grow, without that we won't learn. So what are the mistakes? Like, which mistake do you want other people to have or not to avoid?
I've actually thought about this answer, but I couldn't really come up with any. So instead of answering that, I would like to share that I also believe that there's no mistakes or failure. It's just like, as long as you learn from it, and then it wouldn't be called mistakes anymore. And then everything could be a story for you to share, so that I would say don't really think too much, and you do it, and then you feel it, and then later you can think. That's my
I like it. I like it. Yeah, because it's up to us to think if oh, this was a mistake or this is a great learning opportunity, because I 100% agree. Like, there's no such a thing as a mistake. So it's really up to us. And again, just do it and think later, and there's going to be a lesson. Yeah.
Now I came up with another story that I actually recently missed the flight in Argentina to fly over to Patagonia from Buenos Aires, which is capital. And I was at the airport 30 minutes ago, and the check-in was supposed to be 45 minutes ago before the flight, and then I was at the airport 90 minutes ago. So I had 45 minutes, which is plenty time to be in the line and then do this check-in. But then here in Argentina, if you don't speak Spanish, it's really hard to communicate each other. And then their Spanish is really fast. Plus, they have their own unique dialect.
Right.
It's called Kashe. I forgot. But so I was being hot potatoed by the local staff. I showed my e-tickets to maybe more than 5 staff to make sure that I am in the right line to do the checking. But they kept telling me to go to different lines. And at the end, I was in the right line and the staff checked my e-ticket. Oh yeah, you're in the right line. Just wait. Okay, I waited for another 10 minutes. And when I was at the check-in counter, the staff told me, you're 2 minutes late.
What?
I know. It's like, what? I was like, seriously? Like I was being here like 45 minutes ago and I was just following whatever the staff told me. And then I was put in a different line and then being hot potatoed and I tried to negotiate with them, right? But then it didn't work. And then my flight was like 10:45, but I was at the check-in counter at 10:02, which is just 2 minutes, right? And then I was even in the line like 10 minutes ago. And then when the staff checked me, they should have let me in or, cut the line and then let me in by telling me, you have only maybe 8 minutes to do this. And but that was like Japanese service that I expected. You shouldn't really expect something Japan in other countries. And you're in a different country, so that you have to go with that rule. So she was saying me that's 2 minutes, you're 2 minutes late. I can't help with you because the system automatically closed down. So you just got to go to the ticket center and then switch your ticket. And I was like, I booked the flight with my friends so that they're there already. And I'm the only one who couldn't make it. And then I still was hoping that I can still get in because this sounds so insane. And then I didn't really want to accept the fact that I missed the flight because I still have 45 minutes to try because the plane is still there.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I was running around this, ground area. And then I was probably so panicked so that when I asked the information center and she was like, no, I can't help you. And I was like, what? That's so unkind. And then I was showing the passport and then she told me just go to the ticket center and then just switch tickets to the next flight. So I was like, okay, I have to do it, I guess. So, but I was so panicked. So I put my passport at the information center and I left it there without noticing it. And then I went to this ticket center and then when he asked me to give my passport, I just realized that, oh my God, I lost my passport. So I missed the flight and lost my passport. And it's like, oh shit, what a day, It's a super sunny day and I really wanted to make it to Patagonia on that day. But I remember, maybe at the information center, I was really panicked. So maybe my passport is still there. So I went there and then it was there. And then people around me is like, oh, give me a copy. And I was like, thank you. And then I ran back to the ticket center and then he told me, okay, today's flight, it's fully booked. We don't have today's flight. And I was like, really? And what's the earliest flights that I can take? And then he said 4 a.m. next day. I was like, what? 4 a.m.? I'm like, okay, should I go back to...
You were already...
Yeah, I was at the airport. Yeah, and then it's still 10:30 a.m. I can still catch at 10:45 a.m. Yeah. So he was like, okay, 4 a.m. I was like, I guess I have to take it, there's no other choice. I just have to accept the fact that I missed the flight because I didn't, I couldn't communicate with them in Spanish. So I would say this is mistakes or failure that I had because I missed the flight and I lost even my passport for a while. So that incident actually made me feel I should study Spanish. Then I started learning Spanish since 5 days, which is something new. And then it's a positive thing, right? So even though you thought, you missed a flight. And also another reason that I started Spanish because it's so hard to date with local people if you don't speak Spanish. So that could be also failure. So those two failures made me realize that I gotta study Spanish to survive here and make sure that I can have more fun time here. So, there's no failure or mistakes.
Oh my gosh. But oh my gosh, losing a passport, that would be like a disaster for you.
I know. And then it has the vaccination certificate too. So if I lost two of them, I wouldn't be able to go back to Japan or travel around the world.
Oh my gosh. Like my heart is like almost like stopped right now. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, oh. Yeah. Well, you learned a lesson, and there's another like flexibility is another thing, right? Oh,
exactly.
Be open. No problem. Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, so I have another 12 hours-ish or more longer than that. So what should I do? And then I, changed my thoughts from trying to take this plane to what can I do with this 12 hours? Beautiful. And then I started opening my PC and then having this cup of coffee with me.
Beautiful.
I don't work anywhere. I'll just work here.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. But there's always a good things coming right after it. So amazing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm so glad that the passport was still there. Oh my God.
I was, like when people become panic, like you wouldn't do anything that you can even expect yourself. So it was like totally beyond your imagination. Yeah. Like, where did I put it? Like, I lost my flight and I lost my passport.
Yeah. So next time. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're never gonna learn never gonna lose passport anymore. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, so next question. I'm gonna move on. Oh my gosh, my heart is like still beating. Like, all right. So let's talk about the limiting beliefs, right? We all have some sort of like a mental block or like limiting beliefs that you just think like, who am I to be? Like, there's no way, right? What kind of limiting beliefs did you have, and how did you overcome?
So I would say this limiting belief, I think I'm still struggling to update my thoughts in that way. But I try to think that the future is coming toward to me from what I am doing instead of regretting what I've done in my past. Right. Or so that that thinking is like becoming a very huge part of me. So every time I try to make a decision on what future Akina will be grateful for what current Akina is doing. So, and plus, I have this like another huge thought that people in the end will be in an ash when you died. So what are you limiting yourself? I mean, there's no point of limiting yourself, because one day we will die and we'll be in an ash. And then the future of you will be appreciating what you will be brave enough to take in action. So those two things are always, I also keep telling myself, sometimes I also, be shy to, open up my opinion to Western people because they are so strong opinionated. But still, what am I limiting myself? One day I will die. I will just speak up.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's scary to think about, because many people are actually scared about thinking about their end of their life, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like, or I don't know if I'm going to say unfortunately, but that's life. We all have, we don't know when, but, we all have that. And so like, there are a lot of books out there too. And I don't know, I forget the title. I don't know if you've ever read this book, but basically this person interviewed all the people who are about to end their life. So pretty much, right? And then the number one regret was that the fact that they didn't live for themselves. was the number one regret. And there are so many lessons already out there. So why not? Right. I just I love it how you can think through that way. Because I think many people are scared to think, even like, I don't even want to think about it. I'm like, well, it's going to come.
I mean, like there's a famous book called in Japanese, 死ぬこと以外はかすり傷. And I truly feel that like, if you don't die, I mean, everything else will be just a scratch. So and then it will be a story again, like my missing flight story or losing my passport. It could be a funny story.
Oh my. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. Okay, so I know you kind of mentioned about, being the version of yourself, like future self. But so if you were to live, and you might be already living this like limitless, you are already living this like limitless life. Who are you being? Like how are you living this lifestyle?
How am I living my lifestyle?
Or like, what are you, like, what kind of version of you having life?
Having life, what kind of version of me? I'm not sure if I get the question right.
So like many people think like, if I were the version of me, living this limitless life, like I would be just always being in this like flow, or like just like muno jotai. I like that one. Or like always believing in something without seeing the things. I'm always, looking for something. So like the inside, like how are you thinking,
I think I feel like I myself is already very close to the point already, kind of like a limitless. So, but still some part of me is super lazy. And then I always procrastinated, and I always do everything at the last minute. And I keep telling myself that I am really bad at planning, or I'm always last minute person. But one day my Italian friend told me that because you keep saying that to yourself, that's why you became like that.
Right.
So I realized that, that's true. Because, your thoughts or the way you're speaking will be a reality in the near future. So instead of saying that you're not good at this, or I'm not good at this, then maybe I will start saying that, I'm already an investor nomad, and then I do this like social contribution, even though you haven't really achieved it yet, you just say it out. And then by saying it out, you will gradually realize that you're trying to reach to that point. Unconsciously, you also recognize that. So even though you haven't achieved it yet, you keep saying that to your friends, to yourself, and then kind of, how to call it in English, like damasu, like betray your brain.
I get it. Tricking, right?
Exactly, like tricking your brain. So trick yourself and fake it till make it. So that's the way that I'm trying to do it.
I love it. First of all, you are aware of your own thinking, your own thought, like, oh shoot, I'm really focusing on things that I don't have yet. But then you made a switch on, okay, I am already doing this, right? So like, because subconscious part of the brain, we can't tell if the things are truly happening or not. So you think about, I don't know, eating some donuts, right? Yummy, delicious donut. You're not eating, but you're like thinking about the thought, and then like tasting the taste of it, right? Your brain won't know if you are truly doing it or not. That produce like, so many good feeling, the good, it's the dopamine, like all those like good things that are like happening. So like, it's exactly that, right? You're telling yourself that you're already in the process of doing it. I love it. Okay. So before I let you go, tell these listeners, for this podcast, like, what kind of advice do you want to leave?
I don't want to like make a cheesy comments or advice, because but I'm not sure what I can tell them. But I started this lifestyle at the age of 30. And then a lot of people think that starting something new at the age of 30 is kind of too late, especially in Japan. But I would like to say that I also keep telling myself that like nothing is too late to start something new because today is the youngest version of you always.
Yes, I love
that. Yeah. And then, my big message is that, we die. So just enjoy our life to the fullest until we, have this day X.
Yes. Oh my God. I got a chill. Oh, I love it. I know. Today is the youngest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. 覚えてる. Yeah, there are several people who mentioned that, like, 今日が一番若いですからね. Like,
So.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for the encouragement and thank you so much for all the beautiful stories. So one more time, Be Akina Self is the Instagram account and your podcast is called Nomad University Podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.